Let's go.
Let's go. Hello, hello, hello. It's Travel Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Happy Tuesday.
And
Welcome
it,
to the week.
and if you're listening to this later, happy whatever day it is.
That part. So basically Travel Tuesdays, like they are about everything travel related, tips, tricks, tools, funny stories, and anything in between. So how did Travel Tuesday specifically for Real ID today come about?
Travel Tuesday specifically came about is because, well, Travel Tuesday for Real ID specifically came about because we have a lot of clients, family members that, they be thugging it with life because we be thugging on our own with our own stuff, but they did not understand the magnitude of what the real ID was. Was it really a requirement? Was it just something like a trend that's going around? What was the government doing with it? So we decided to take it upon ourselves. And because we were helping our friends and helping our clients and helping our family out, we said, you know what? Let's help what are we going to call this? Our twin flame through tribe?
Yeah, there we
We're going to
go.
help our tribe out. So we decided, hey, let's put together um, information on Real ID and present it for Travel Tuesday. If you don't know, we go live every Tuesday and talk about something different that has to do with travel. Just so happened that this Tuesday we did it. We was vibing. We was telling stories.
Great time.
Hee ha ha, and then we found out that there was no volume. So
Talking to ourselves.
I like you, so I'm okay with talking to
Too.
ourselves. But at the same time, we want to get the information out. So
Right.
now we're going to record it based on what we just did live and put it out there for everyone else to see. Give it everyone an opportunity to ask us questions. Just have the information or whatever you need with it, but just know that you're not alone. And when it comes to things like travel, that's what we do for a living. That's our company. If you ever want to support us, go like our pages, share with your friends. If you're
Mhm.
going somewhere, use our services, see what it's about before, you just say no. But anywho, that's how we got to Travel Tuesday because the real ID is important. And I'm going to give it to Babe because she's going to give y'all some deets on it.
I am. So just to kind of elaborate on what Courtney was explaining, at the end of the day, we realized we had a lot of people between clients and family and friends that really had no idea what Real ID was, if they needed it, why they needed it, and if it was even necessary, to be honest. So it was a little kind of like, what do you mean? So we want to do something about that. So that's the exact reason why we are here to do that today. So with that being said, let's dive into it, right? Real ID. First and foremost, it is required for United States travel. You must be Real ID compliant to board domestic flights and access certain federal facilities. So, what are those federal facilities? They include military bases, and obviously, we are Marine Corps veterans, so we go to a military base anytime we get a chance to. In every new state that we go, every base opportunity. So, military bases, federal courthouses, and prisons, all those major federal offices, companies, locations, they are going to require you to have a real ID to get through their checkpoint. So, that's going to be really important. When is that deadline, babe?
The deadline is May 7th. That's like next month. But May 7th, 2025. Of course, things can change, but the deadline as of right now is May 7th.
And I will say again, depending on when you are listening to this video, it is currently April the 15th. So you have 22 days from today for you to be Real ID compliant. So, what exactly does it mean to be compliant in Real ID? First and foremost, what it's going to look like is going to be a gold star on the top right hand side of your ID. Please understand, depending on what state you reside in, it may look a little different. It may be a circle with the star in the middle, it may just be the star, it may be an animal with the gold star on the inside.
But you're a star.
You a star.
Make sure you're a star.
Exactly. So, what exactly does that mean, though? It basically means that you applied and received a new ID, which is a real ID, through your state DMV. Requirements, again, they're going to vary from one state to another, but typically they mean that you showed proof of your full legal name. My name is D, but that is just a nickname. It's not my government issued name. So, obviously, I needed to show full name to the DMV. your date of birth, social security number, and typically two proofs of address, which again will vary state by state of what they will accept. But that says, hey, I have these items. I'm a real person. I'm a legitimate person. Please give me an ID that says I belong here and I'm supposed to have one. Again, it is going to vary as far as the requirements go from one state to another. If you don't like the requirements for your state, luckily we live in America, you should know. Find another state that has requirements that you can get with.
Or if you just don't understand your state's requirement
Mhm.
website, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'll leave all of our information below. And we'll go through it with you free of charge. Like, I'd rather you not be stuck
Yeah.
than be stuck.
We experience a lot of situations where people are like, "Oh, I need to do this, I need to do that," but they don't fully understand what that means. They don't know where am I supposed to go to get this or what information am I supposed to research and look up to have what I need to make that happen. So that is what we're here for. We literally spent our time and our businesses built on being able to offer support and guidance for those that are struggling in those areas. So no need to go through it by yourself. We are here for you for that purpose. So just to dive in a little bit further, obviously when COVID happened, everybody kind of went haywire and people started using like mobile options for information and details. So some people have been using a mobile driver's license, referred to as an MDL. That's not a problem. It's not an issue. However, just because you have a mobile driver's license doesn't mean that you are real ID compliant. Now, I will say it's possible that you are, you will still have to check and kind of verify though. And if you're not sure, you can always check and verify with your local DMV. But if you are not and you're using the MDL and it's not compliant through Real ID at this time, what's going to happen is it is not going to be accepted and it's not going to be valid at that point in time. It doesn't mean you don't have a valid ID, it just won't be Real ID compliant. So again, you won't be able to get into those federal facilities and you also will not be able to board a domestic flight. Now, you were going to say something. Say it.
Caveat to that, if you have a passport, that is, you can use that to board your domestic flights. But most domestic flights, you don't need a passport. So if you're that person that doesn't have a passport and you don't have a real ID and you have a trip coming up, even if it's like just to go visit a friend or a grandmother or something, you are running the risk of making your life a little bit harder than it needs to be.
Absolutely. Now, if you do have a mobile driver's license and MDL, some states will have a waiver where that will not apply and it'll be okay for you can do that, but that will not actually be available until after May the 7th date, which again is after the deadline date. So don't wait until that time frame. And I'm going to be honest, federal agencies, they are not accepting the MDL. So you won't be able to even use that to gain access to these facilities, even if you are using the mobile driver's license. You are going to still be obligated to go get a physical driver's license to ensure it is Real ID compliant as well.
And don't be like, oh, I was listening to Courtney and D, and they said that I could get a waiver if I just waited out.
No, nobody said that.
That's not what we're saying.
The waiver is going to apply on a state by state basis based on the Department of Homeland Security. However, again, that information won't be available until after the deadline date on May the 7th. So you're going to kind of be just tossing it up a little bit, or what we refer to as just thugging around. So, okay.
Thugging
Let's not
it.
do that if we can avoid it. All right. So, just to kind of touch base still and elaborate some, you will be able to still use your valid US passport at checkpoints. It doesn't mean that you can't do anything because you don't have a real ID, or maybe your location doesn't have an appointment until weeks from now after the deadline. That's okay. Your passport will work just fine for you to board domestically if need be and do anything that you need to do. It just means don't wait. You still need to make that driver's license appointment and get an updated one. But your passport is a good go to. So if you don't have a passport, that's a different conversation, and that'll be for a different Travel Tuesday. Right. So the other question that we got hit a lot with is, well, why is this even happening? Where did this come from? And I mean, let's be honest, we live in a world right now where fraud and AI, it's going to change the course of absolutely everything. Enhanced security is going to be needed for your protection and for the protection of everybody else. Real ID really just provides more of a reliability and accuracy when confirming your identity and who you are. So the Real ID Act of 2005, it was set by the 9/11 Commission, which established that minimum security standard for state issued ID, which again was right after 9/11 took place. So they are just now fully being able to put that portion into effect now.
So
So
this isn't new.
it's not. And to be honest, we have been notified in a lot of different ways, and most of us have just ignored it. So guess what? This is them lighting a fire under your tail and telling you to do it.
Let's get it.
Exactly. So It's something that it seems like, oh, well, why is this such a big deal? It's just something minute, right? I'm just going to the other side of our own country. I shouldn't have to go through all this other stuff. I get that. But we know so many situations right now, especially if you're on social media, of how people have been taking IDs or have been sending over fraudulent documents. It is necessary for you to submit everything that you need so that there's no question or doubts about who you are and where it is that you are trying to go. So here's the other caveat to that, right? We've got legal hurdles. If you are one of those people that has any type of legal hurdle and you're facing,
Such as child support, pending charges, lawsuits, all those information. It's okay. It's okay.
no
No
judgment,
judgment.
no judgment. However, the good news is any of those things and more is not going to prevent you from being able to obtain a real ID. It just means you might have to go through a little extra documentation to provide, depending on your circumstance. But it's not going to prevent you from being able to obtain a real ID and get where you need to go. So do not allow that to stop you from doing what your next steps are going to be.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what do I need to do? Right? What is that next step there? Step number one, check your driver's license. Grab your driver's license, go look at it. Top right hand side, you should see a star of some sort. If that space
What
is
if I want
completely
a
blank,
heart?
no one cares. No one cares. Like if you want something different, this isn't a situation like a license plate where you can customize it, personalize it, or anything like that. It's not one of those things. Everyone's going to have a star. Your star is just going to look differently depending on where you live at. Good question though. But you're going to check it. Do I have the star on my driver's license? That's step number one. If you do, guess what? You're real ID compliant already, and you don't have to worry about anything else. Book a trip, call us, and let's get you out of the country. And you're
Not
gonna be
book a
great.
trip. Call us. We'll book a trip and we'll get you right. Like, that's crazy.
Exactly. So next step, right? What if you look at your driver's license and say, I don't have a star on it? That's okay. That means you need to go to your local DMV's website, find out if they are requiring appointments, and if so, set an appointment that works for your schedule. If not, and you have some time, that means you need to go ahead and stop at the DMV and get you a new driver's license immediately. Okay. Last step really is upon receiving your new driver's license, enjoy your life. Do what you gotta do, bro. Ain't
You
nobody
you
stopping you.
compliant.
Look at you.
Fly away, birdie.
So by all means, that is going to be your first step. Grab your driver's license, see whether or not you have a star. If you do not have a star, contact your local DMV, make yourself an appointment, and get real ID compliant as soon as possible. Okay? What questions you got? Because I always know you've got questions.
A couple of questions. I understand that you said it's a gold star, and I understand. I understand it says the gold star top right hand corner, and I know that if it's not, I need to make an appointment. But what if there's no appointments available in my state and I get past the deadline?
That's okay. Again, your current driver's license is not going to expire. So if for any
What if it is
reason,
expired?
I mean, that's a whole separate situation. You need to actually go through the whole process to get a new driver's license at that point in time. That's the whole situation. Call us. But seriously, if you are in a situation or in a state where you don't have an appointment or can't get one until after that deadline date, that's fine. Your current driver's license is not going to go away or it's not invalid at any point, and it doesn't mean you're going to get deported. It doesn't mean someone's coming knocking on your door looking for you. No, what it means is you just need to get an appointment as soon as possible. And if you do have an upcoming trip, you need to one have your passport readily available for that trip, or two, you might need to push it back a little bit until you do get a real ID at that point in time.
My passport also needs to be how long past your current date of
If
coming
you are
back?
traveling internationally and you have a valid passport, your passport should be good 6 months past your return date when you get to another country. It doesn't mean you'll have an issue leaving the country here in the United States, but it can cause you problems entering a new country when you get there.
Okay,
Good
okay.
question.
How much does it cost to get this
So
starlight
listen,
thingy, real ID? Oh,
you can have spend anywhere from like $10 up until like $52. It's again going to vary based on the state that you live in. Every state is going to tell you, hey, this is how much it's going to be to get a new driver's license issued. Whatever that fee is for your state is what you are going to have to pay. They're not waiving anything for the purpose of being compliant because of the new law. That's not a situation. So whatever your state's requirement for a new ID is going to be how much you're going to owe.
okay. So I get it. I have to get this real ID.
Hmm.
We don't have time. I don't have time. So can I do this online?
That's a good question. A lot of people, especially nowadays, they're like, "Oh, I can just do this online and be fine." Yeah, no, that's not one of those things. Again, to prevent fraud, to prevent situations where, oh, this is just someone sending over fake documents, or this is someone who isn't actually who they are. It's to prevent those situations. So you cannot get a real ID virtually. You will have to make an appointment, set up time in your schedule to go to the DMB, show and present your documents, take a photo if need be, cheese, and then get a new ID that is going to be issued. It is not something that can be done virtually.
Hmm.
Now you can renew virtually, possibly once you have a real ID, but not to get one.
Okay. Okay. All right.
She got the questions.
So you already asked you answered the last question. What happens if I don't get it by the deadline?
Mhm.
I just won't be able to go certain places. I
Absolutely. Make
understand that.
adjustments to the schedule. That's okay.
However, if I get the real ID, can I like rip up my passport? Because can this be like a national card? Like what it like I
Ooh,
understand I could go everywhere in the US, but Jamaica look real good and I shouldn't have to have an extra ID for that.
good question. So, no, do not do that. Your real ID is not a replacement for your passport. It is something supplemental. And again, your real ID is going to apply here in the United States, whereas your passport allows you entry into international countries. So, when it comes to do I want to actually get this and then say screw it to my passport, you don't have it like that. Unfortunately, they are very much so mutually exclusive. You have to have a passport if you're going to travel internationally, and your real ID is required to travel internet into or in the states from one state to another. I was going to say internationally, and that didn't make sense. What else you got?
That was my last question that we have received.
I love it. All right.
Um,
So listen, the main purpose of this is to make sure you all are aware. A real ID is required. You need to have a gold star on it. You need to be compliant with the states to make sure you can go anywhere that you need to. It is not a replacement for your passport, and it is not something that you can just say, oh, well, this is all I have to do, and I don't have to worry about anything additional. Okay. It is something that you want. You want to make sure it's taken care of and it does not interfere with you being able to travel and go where you want to go.
if you have any questions or just general statements regarding it, you can always send us a message directly or comment. We do have a real ID checklist guide
Mhm.
that you can get that just helps you with, so you don't have to watch this video like, man, I need to watch this. By all means, watch the video as many times as you need. Actually, you should keep this video on repeat. But if not, you can click the link below and put in your email address. We'll send you um, the real ID checklist so that you can have it and that you can just check off as you go. Because I know we
Mhm.
all are busy. We all have things that we are doing. We have
And most of
families.
us love a checklist. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, so don't do this alone. That was my caveat to that.
I like it.
And my last question, I forgot. I mean, we have this video going up, and I'm pretty sure people know what we do. But for the people that don't know what twin flame travel is, how would you describe it?
So I would describe it as a way for any and everyone to be able to travel solo with a significant other or a partner, as well as with a group, to just really get a chance to reconnect with each other or build a connection entirely and to experience joy without all the extra hassle. Most of us can travel. That's not a complicated part. But those of us that can't or struggle trying to get everything in line, we take all the extra thought out of it. Part of being able to travel is to be able to relax, to really let loose, to really build on something. We all say, I want to travel for, there's a reason behind it.
Stick to that reason.
Stick to that reason. Don't go on a trip and not do the things that you want to do. Don't go on a trip and not reconnect and build with your loved ones the way that you were intending to the first time. So, when those situations arise, call us, make sure we help you out. And again, even if you booked your own travel, that's fine. Make sure your dates are accurate, check in times, insurance is available. We are more than happy to be here to assist you and make sure everything is good to go. Your travel should be seamless, so nothing is standing in the way of you seeing the world. It's beautiful.
And your peace is our priority.
By all means, have a great day, guys.